So, folks, we should point out we are currently on a precipice. There is a lot economically going down in the next week or so. So, fasten your seatbelts, everyone. We're in for a bumpy ride because, the shutdown is threatening paychecks, essentially. We currently only have 55% of Americans who say they have enough to last 3 months on just emergency savings. And it's going to be bad because this week is going to be people are going to be missing their first paychecks. And we are also hearing, of course, that around 41 million people are going to be cut off of SNAP starting on November 1st. And I gotta be honest, guys, this is gonna be some harrowing economic times, to say the least. I wouldn't say we're gonna be buoyed up for a time on this AI bubble, but when that AI bubble bursts, we're already not doing great. So now is the time, folks. Go familiarize yourself with your local food shelf. Go why can't I speak today? Familiarize yourself with your local, any local group that distributes food. This is when we need to batten down the hatches and actually look around to see what we can do in our communities, because we're about to be here in the storm hit pretty soon. Will they use the protest from this to try and crush us? I mean, I kind of presume their plan the entire time has been to try and instigate riots in order to justify a more authoritarian crackdown. The longer we can deny them that, the better it will be for us. Because the more time that passes as folks peacefully assemble and protest, the more public support we can build up. Did you see the USDA website blames trans people and immigrants? Because of course it does. I mean, they're putting all kinds of messages everywhere to try and blame Democrats for this shutdown. But part of the reason they're doing that is because they're so desperate to try and distract from the fact that this is the administration's failing. They control all three branches of government. This is the Republicans getting too greedy, their eyes being bigger than their stomachs. And they think that by deliberately starving the American people, they can force us to give them their billionaire friends tax breaks. That is what is happening here. They are committing themselves to attempting to starve us out. It is a siege on America. And again, I would encourage folks, hold true to each other, support your local communities, and please encourage nonviolence as we go towards what is sure to be some sporadic protests, possibly mass protests. We'll see how long Republicans feel they can keep this up. Yeah, I mean, this is the time for direct action in your community. So, just a little update. We are staring down the barrel of a really, really bumpy next couple of weeks. And I gotta be honest, it does not look like Republicans are going to break anytime soon. That is why it is so important. Please keep calling your senators. Please keep calling your senators. And I would say start calling your representatives, especially if you have Republican representatives in the House. Okay? We should be doing that. Because we need to be building political pressure on these folks. And it can't be that every single day they just don't feel it. It needs to be felt. So, get to work, folks. If you don't know where to start, you can get involved with your local Dems. You can get involved with your local DSA. Both will have inroads with ways you can help your local community. And get involved that way. If you need help joining your local DSA, you can join our Discord. Reach out to Gamergy. If you want to join your local Dems, join the Discord. Reach out to Dragonfly.
Did you see the Senate voted 52-48 to stop Trump's tariffs on Brazil?
I did not see that, actually. Senate on Tuesday voted to terminate the 50% tariff that Donald Trump has imposed on Brazil. Oh, but it does get kicked down to the House, of course. And the House is really where we're getting so much of the rubber stamp on tariffs. So we'll see. It would also rely on the House being in session long enough to do that. Mike Johnson doesn't want to do that. What does that mean, though? It means that the Senate voted to overturn the tariff, but it also needs to be voted on in the House. And I believe after that, it would then need to... I'm unsure if it needs to go to the president in this case. If it was a bill, it would need to go to the president. I think this is a resolution. So I think both houses of Congress, both the House and the Senate, need to vote on it in order for it to be binding. Ah, God. Yeah, it's dead on arrival in the House? Absolutely. Ay. Just know that, like, what's happening right now is that Mike Johnson in the House is in the bag, working every day to protect a bunch of powerful, rich pedophiles by not calling the House back into session, right? He is blocking the release of the Epstein files by just not calling the House back. And not only that, but in the Senate, Republicans are all holding firm, saying that they are going to try and cut your Medicaid, you know, the medical assistance to tens of millions of folks in this country who rely on it to live. And on top of that, like, the federal branch of the government, which is, I would like to note, under the control of one President Donald Trump, is refusing to release $8 billion in rainy day funds through, like, to make sure that people can continue to get their SNAP benefits. This is a deliberate choice by the federal government, by Donald Trump's administration, to starve working people in America. Like, the messaging on this should be that Republicans are running a massive effort to cover up for pedophiles, to steal your health insurance, and to literally take food out of the mouths of children. Those are the talking points here.
Gotta make sure my favorite streamer is financially sound in these trying times. Also, join your local Dems and make them do a food drive.
Literally do that. Like, you can make that happen. If you guys are in the room with your local Dems, most of them are just tired. But they also want to help the community, even if they're, like, liberals. Even if they're neoliberals, they want to help the community. The messaging needs to be here that it is time for the American people to step up where the government has failed. And not only that, but that the Republicans who currently control all three branches of government are doing so to protect pedophiles, to steal your health care, and to steal the food out of the mouths of starving people. And, you know, I guess we can tack another one on there. Disappear your friends and neighbors at the barrel of guns from masked thugs endorsed by the government. Hey, add another one on there, so that they can just bomb people in the middle of the Caribbean for literally no reason. We killed 14 people today in the Caribbean, and the Trump administration is just saying, trust us, bro, they were all criminals. Like, I cannot believe the amount of gullibility I am seeing in the American electorate these days. Where they're just like, oh yeah, no, the government said so, they must all be criminals. When most of these stories coming out of these is that they are just fishermen trying to go out and fish. And even if they were criminals, the United States doesn't have the jurisdiction to just go and kill people in other countries for no reason, or for reasons that don't even rise to the level of a capital offense. This is disgusting. And this administration is just carrying water for pedophiles and to flatter the aims of the rich and powerful. That is it. And it is so abundantly obvious that, like, you literally have to just be illiterate. You have to be, like, completely uneducated about any of the topics going on to not understand what is happening right now. You know, when we get like Trump supporters in this stream, you know, they'll come in here and they'll say, no, we have evidence that these guys were running drugs. And then you ask, like, what is the evidence? And they're like, oh, you want me to provide evidence for my claim? It's because they're all full of shit. They're all full of Nazi shit that the Trump administration is putting out on its social media platforms constantly. The main conservative meme when it comes to like, oh yeah, these guys are all drug runners, comes from like a report from 2011. It's not current, and it's not pictures of the actual boats that have been blown up by the Trump administration. Like, it is infuriating every single day. They are now making the service members involved on the attacks in the Caribbean sign NDAs. Too bad for them, NDAs are void in furtherance of a crime. I mean, it's all just intimidation tactics. All of it. All of it is an effort to make us feel like we need to make ourselves small, that we need to make ourselves quiet, that we need to just batten, you know, just lock things down. Don't put your head out of the sand. It is all in service of trying to bully us into silence and complicity. And I don't know about you guys, I'm just going to get louder. I'm going to get more irritating. I'm going to get like so much more irritating than I could have ever believed possible for myself. And I'm going to do it in the service of bullying these conservative ghouls in the Trump administration. Because make no mistake about it, you know what really hurts Stephen Miller? It's not when you call him evil. He is evil, but like that doesn't hurt his feelings. He doesn't give a shit that people think he's evil. He actually kind of gets off on it. But what actually gets through to these people is when you point out they're weak, and when you point out they're cowardly, and when you point out they're getting bullied by a bunch of people in inflatable frog costumes. And you want to know what? Inflatable frog costumes can be worn by literally anyone in this country. Okay? Like, point out that like these little fascist nerds are the kinds of people who would get swirlies and deserve it. All right? These are the people who like, you know, like I'm just telling it here. These people suck. And like they kind of deserve to be ostracized and bullied from society. It's one of the ways we show that their ideas are not at all acceptable. But Stephen Miller said we all woke up the dragon. Dragons are scary. Yeah, if you're not in a D&D group where you have a bard, I guess. But, you know, Stephen Miller wouldn't know that because he's never been able to get enough friends together to play D&D. You know, because he's a horrifying simulacrum of a man. God, Stephen Miller's face looks like it was sculpted out of clay by a small child and then just like never finished. And, you know, the teacher just like picked it up and said, well, you know, they tried, and then put it in the kiln. You know, like that's Stephen Miller's face is really just a small child's best attempt to simulate a human being. And like, you know, he, in an effort to kind of compensate for the fact that he was cursed and spited by God, he decided to just become Hitler too. And you know, like, when you really got nothing left, of course you have to become Hitler too. Because, dude, you know, Hitler 1 couldn't even hash it out to old age. Like, Stephen Miller, oh my god. Dude is gone. He hates being called short? Yeah, of course he does. Dude's the kind of guy who can try and dish it out, but he can't take it. He's not Hitler already? No, because to call him Hitler would be to imply that he had some, like, original concept of his own fascism. But let's be clear here, he's stealing it from a bunch of other, like, fascism nerds, and is frankly just bad at it. He's just Farquaad. He's Farquaad, but somehow uglier and stupider, and more incompetent, and with less actual political power. And you know, like, he's Tamo Himmler. Look, you're giving him way too much credit, okay? Because some of the things you might buy on Temu actually work. And you can look at Stephen Miller, he's never worked a day in his life. His hands are soft. And it's why his wife left him. And, you know, like that's... Look, if you're gonna go after these people, like, don't pull some punches, alright? Like, it's okay. These people are degenerate fools who should be, like, ostracized from all of us. And, you know, I'm okay saying it. His wife left him? Yeah, the scuttlebutt is that his wife cheated on him with Elon Musk, which, you know, I haven't been able to verify that, but it's very fucking funny. He's a high school bully that never learned anything. But also, like, that implies that in high school he was capable of bullying anyone. Because, you know, in high school, he was just like that bigoted kid that got bullied. He was not bullied? He should have been. That's my hot take. My hot take is that, you know, bigots should be bullied. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Fuck these ghouls. They want to literally kill millions of us if they can. And they're doing their best faith effort to immiserate and kill the most vulnerable people in our society so that they can give their billionaire donors bigger tax cuts. And they don't deserve any of your respect. Not a single iota of it. Whoa, Paladin. I knew Stephen Miller at Duke through various circles. He was never a bully, but he wasn't well liked at the university outside the little Mike Munger Nazi meet cutes at Duke Poli-Sci. Genuine question. In higher education, how do you, like, have a Nazi meet cute group without that getting bullied and, like, immediately having their list of members outed? Like, I don't know. Seems like something the folks at Duke should have infiltrated and undone. It's not too late to start bullying him. It's never too late to correct our past mistakes. I thought you said Meat Cube group. I mean, it's not inaccurate. Mike Munger is a super libertarian, and so is a lot of Duke Poli-Sci at that time. Fuck, what was in the water at Duke Poli-Sci? Jesus. If we make it out of this, do we really think there will be Nuremberg-style trials? Well, I don't know if we will get them, but I think we should be demanding them starting now. I think that we need to demand them and make it perfectly clear that when this is done, the people who have wronged us need to be held to account. Like, that's what needs to be done. And the demand needs to, like, start being made and start growing now so that we can actually make that happen later. Like, even my 75-year-old mother talks about there needing to be super Nuremberg trials for these ghouls. I don't know if we'll make it out of this. Buck up, all right? We worked our way out of absolute monarchy's boot, all right? We worked our way out from absolute monarchy to being a democracy. We can work our way out of these incompetent fools who are trying to do the stupidest version of fascism imaginable, all right? Like, these clowns can't even get a late-night comedian thrown off the air. Like, we're gonna win. Don't be giving up now, all right? These people are weak. This administration is a paper tiger. They're just trying to bully you into not taking action, into not engaging, and into not working against them. Because it is only with our complacency that they can succeed. And no, I am Lim. It's okay. It's okay to have concerns. I'm just here to tell you, like, we are gonna win. All right. And with that being said, I've yammered too much about this. Let's keep going. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Riverboat Deck is going to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube and Swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, plenty more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard.